Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR 25 career mode here on the channel. I hope you all having a great day. Today we've got two more races coming your way from Talladega Super Speedway as well as Texas Motor Speedway. So very different types of racetracks we're going to be visiting, from a super speedway all the way to just a typical mile-and-a-half racetrack. Now, as Talladega could be an unexpected opportunity for us to actually, maybe run really well and have a chance to even be in the mix at the end of this race to have an opportunity to win this race. But of course, if we want to have an opportunity, we got to be there at the end of the race. But let's try and get a good start here to this race. Now, we come into qualifying with that sponsor goal of a top 20. Now is, of course, the easiest qualifying in all of motorsports. You run around full throttle and turn left a couple of times and hold a steady wheel. And as we came to the line, very unexpectedly, we would go P5, our best qualifying effort, and we only miss out on pole by a few hundredths of a second as Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill sweep the front row. How about that? And that is not even in a fully upgraded car on the hardest difficulty. I was very surprised to see that competitive of a lap. So we're going to be starting row 3 on the inside here with a real opportunity to get some stage points, maybe even fight for a stage win. This is going to be a really good point day that we could have swing in our favor as long as we can put a complete race together, which, Talladega, I mean, let's be real, it's one of the harder tracks to actually pull that off. Nonetheless, let's go racing. Green flag is out here from Talladega Super Speedway now, and we kick off here from the Super Speedway as we head off into turn number 1 behind the 54 of Taylor Gray. Got the 7 of Justin Allgaier up here in the top 6 right now to start this race. Of course, got the Richard Childress duo of Hill and Love lined up right there, bumper to bumper. Jesse Love just picked up his first win of the season last episode there in Rockingham. What a performance that was there from the number 2, as now he would love to see his teammate, of course, of Austin Hill, advance into the playoffs here. As we're right to the back of the 54, we've already got some 3-wide racing as we head down this bank straight away here. Only 6 laps in stage number 1, so I expect the same in stage 2, which is going to make things, pretty straightforward, of course, here now as we follow this 54 of Gray now through 3 and off of turn 4, and Sheldon Creed continues to lead on this opening lap after starting from the pole position. Now Allgaier here 3 wide in the middle to my right side. Looking in my mirror, you've got the likes of Sanchez in the conversation. I see Connor Zilisch back there as well as we complete this first and opening lap. Sam Mayer in the 41 up here as well in the middle lane, just behind now the 21 of Austin Hill. Allgaier jumped up to the outside and received a big push here to the front, and then as we stayed on the bottom, we would kind of shuffle our way back, and next thing you know, as we came towards a little bit later on lap 2, we were nearly outside of the top 10 just by hanging on to this middle lane as Taylor Gray now ripping through forward, and you're going to notice that just the momentum's always shifting here. And you can see once again, we got 4 wide here, 4 by 4 just in front of us now as it's action packed up front, and then a little bit further back, everyone's kind of chilling out saying, hey, we don't want to be a part of that right now as we come to 3 laps to go, and things have kind of calmed down a little bit here now as we were still running kind of right outside the top 10, not where we want to be, not where we expect to be at a super speedway. We know these are our opportunities to, of course, put some really good runs together as we continue to just hang on and make this happen here in stage 1, trying to get that top 10. Look at this racing here. You got more mixes of 4 wide in front of us now as we're just kind of trying to choose the right lane to be in at the right time. And as we were coming up to the final lap here of stage number 1, through the middle, 4 wide as Allgaier is going backwards, but we've dropped outside of the top 10 with 1 lap to go here in stage number 1. But now we've jumped up to this 3rd lane, and it's crazy how quickly things go from 2 wide to 3 wide to 4 wide, then they go back down to just 2 wide again as we come through, though, down this back straightaway using some draft from the Daytona winner of Daniel Dye, and just like that, as we come towards the end, we're back in the top 5 conversation to the back of Parker Retzlaff. We've got Anthony Alfredo just behind us, but now our momentum stalling. Sam Mayer's leading. Alfredo jumped out of line briefly there. We've still got a pole from this 4 of Retzlaff coming through into the tri-oval. If he leaves the door open, we got to take it here. We're going to split through to the middle. They're 4 wide right in front of us. We're 4 wide to the line. Who wins stage number 1? It's Josh Bilicki in the 91. He got Sam Mayer at the line. 2 Sam Hunt Racing cars in the top 10 with Dean Thompson and myself, and we are going to see some split strategy as well, as stage 2 is only 6 laps and we've got a 6 laps estimated of field. We would end up being one of the drivers to stay out. I decided we're gonna follow some of these other guys like Jesse Love, Sanchez, Alfredo, Clements, and others to stay out on the racetrack and go for the track position, try to stay up front as we get things back underway. The question is, once we take the green flag, yes, there's 6 laps of racing in stage 2, how much fuel do we have at this point, of course, is the big question. Do we have enough to make it to the end of the stage? Because when we ended stage 1, we were at an estimated 6 laps of fuel, so that means it's still going to be close, because we're not going to quite have that much now as we kick off the second stage here now, as we're side by side with that Wheeling Camaro. Number 2, Richard Childress Racing, driver of Jesse Love there just behind us. You got Sanchez pushing me, you got Alfredo pushing Love. We got estimated fuel 5 laps, so we are a little bit short, and that brings up some questions, because at most tracks that we found so far, I mean, if we, for example, have 5 laps of field, I expect that a typical, say, mile and a half, I'm probably going to be able to stretch that to 7 laps. So my question now is, does that also apply to a larger track like a 2.5 mile Talladega Superspeedway? That's the big question we're going to find out here. The answer momentarily now, as we have dropped back here on this opening lap now, as Zilish is going to line up behind the 2 of Love. They're the 2 best friends kind of getting together here, but hold on. Love would actually move up, and I would follow Connor Zilish right back to the front of this pack. So crazy how the momentum is swinging, and now I've got Jesse Love lined up behind me. So things are just dramatically changing at a very fast pace in the Super Speedway races in NASCAR 25. The Super Speedway races are quite a bit of fun. It feels like the pack racing feels a little bit different than it did at launch for whatever reason, but here we come towards 2 to go, and Zilish is going to pit, and so is Sanchez. I see Ryan Sieg back there. So we've got multiple drivers coming into the pits. We as well actually are being told by our crew chief, pit this time, with 2 laps coming to the final lap, and I'm going to try and stretch it. We're going to see how far we can take this. We got an estimated 1 lap of fuel coming to the final lap. We're still up front, but here comes Love as well as De Benedetto, Alfredo, and others. And as we come through to the tri-oval, we hit an estimated 0 laps of fuel. So the question is, do we have enough fuel to make it to the end of this final lap here in stage number 2? It is going to be super, super close, but we're not the only one that's trying to stretch this. I know there's a few other guys that have not pitted, so we'll see who can get to the end. Jeb Burton's, for example, a driver that did not pit here after stage 1. He's still out here in the conversation, as now actually Burton's out of field. Jeb Burton's run out of gas here in turn 3. We're going to jump up into the middle. That completely ruins the top 10. And now as we exit turn 4, we're sputtering. We're running out of fuel as well. So we did not, in fact, have enough. Burton coming to the pits. I'm going to stay on the racetrack because we know the caution's coming when 10th place crosses the line. And that's going to save us here. Holding stage winner Taylor Gray. We end up 19th. It could have been worse, honestly. Yeah, definitely should have pitted at the end of stage 1 is what I learned here. I think all of us that didn't pit are regretting it now, and we learned that, in fact, there was not enough fuel to get to the end of stage number 2. Gray wins the stage. We are going to pit for 4 tires, as well as fill this car up with some Sunoco fuel and get ready for the 3rd and final stage, where we come into the pits 19th. We lose 11 spots. We end up P30 by the time things are done here in the pits, and we are back underway for this 3rd and final stage. Now, the guys that just pitted in the middle of stage 2 into the final couple of laps of stage 2, they all just stayed out again. That's why we lost the 11 positions. So Jesse Love, those types of guys, De Benedetto, Alfredo, all those guys that had to pit that we saw, Jeb Burton even, they all get to stay out now and cycle forward. So now, halfway just about through this race, we have now found ourselves in the lowest position that we've been all weekend long. We haven't even been like outside of the top 20 for once. Usually we're starting around 20th and we're going to way forward. This weekend we have been, of course, up front, and I think we were down to like 15th or 16th in stage 1 at one point. That was pretty well the worst we got, and then of course we end stage 2 and 19th, a big check up there, and unfortunately I put some damage on the back of that 71's bumper. Ryan Ellis there in that Camaro now as we continue through 3 and off of turn 4. I didn't make any adjustments to this car, but I was regretting that. If I was to make any adjustments, I should have tightened up the car for sure. As you see around my myself, you got Sam Mayer, you got Daniel Suarez in the Quaker State number 9 this weekend, the 10 of Daniel Dye. Here's Harrison Burton in front of us. We stay in line just behind this number 25 Mustang into turn number 3 now, and just kind of letting things play out, and we're just kind of trying to be methodical here. I genuinely think we've got a chance to finish up front and even have a chance to win this race. So I was trying to make some moves to get up front, but like I said, I was trying to be methodical about it as well, and just take my time, because I feel like we've got some really solid speed here now, as we just about found ourselves 4 wide in the middle here into turn number 3. Big shot from behind from Zilish. Zilish is around behind us into turn 3. The big one strikes here. Multiple cars, the 41 of Mayer and others involved. Caution flies, and nobody is coming into the pits because we actually, apparently, what they're thinking is we can't make it to the end. If we were to pit right now, it would be a similar situation to what we just saw in stage 2. So I learned my lesson and know, yeah, we're not going to cut it close on field because we ran out. So we're going to follow the same strategy, and we're going to pit with everybody here as we take the green flag. We're back underway, and that was such a weird incident where Zilish had gotten up to me, and he had ran into the back of me so hard, and we were already kind of stacking up, that he hit me. He checked up after that, of course, and then he just completely lost it and collected Mayer and others as well, as we continue on here into the top 20 with 10 laps to go in this race. Anthony Alfredo out in front here with 10 laps to go. We've got 8 laps of fuel, I think it just said. So honestly, I feel like maybe actually if we did pit, we might have actually been able to make it to the end of the race, now that I look back at it. But nonetheless, we're in the boat that we're in, and we're going to do what we can to get ourselves back out front. But now there's also the realistic possibility of a green flag pit stop before this race is over, and that is surely going to spice things up here now as Harrison Burton moves up behind the number 18 of William Sawalich, and then eventually I couldn't go forward, so I'd actually follow him up there, and we had now gotten up into P16 to the right rear quarter panel there of the 21 Bennett Camaro for Richard Childress Racing. Austin Hill here, of course, the super speedway kind of king in the Xfinity Series now as we head off into turn 3, and now we've left the 18 and the 25 here as I got turned a little bit sideways there from the 48 there of Nick Sanchez, but we are now nearly back into the top 10, and I mean, we're not terribly far away from seeing some green flag pit stops. I expect to see some drivers come in on the earlier side of things here, because if you do pit now, you can of course make it to the end of this race. So the pit window is very much open, but of course you want to pit as late as possible, simply because the later you pit, the less fuel you can take. So you want to be able to, instead of say taking 1 can, you want to be able to take half a can now, as we have gotten ourselves right in the middle, 4 wide actually up front here. And now as we come towards lap 22, we have gotten ourselves back into the top 5. We're 3 wide in the middle here. I got Balicki just behind me. He's going to give me a big shot in the middle of the corner. It slides me down into the 4 of Retzlaff. We all keep it calm, cool, collected. We save it down the front straightaway. Drivers are pitting. I saw it in my mirror. I thought I saw someone pull out a line. Yeah, maybe not. No, we still stay on the racetrack. Now, no, someone did pit. I can see it on the track map, so I wasn't seeing things here as we come through to the start-finish line, and the intensity is picking up, but we need to calm down because we're about to all have to come into the pits. I am just being driven through by the 42 car here as we head off into turn number 3. Alfredo's right on us. Now Alfredo hangs us out 3 wide. He goes to the middle, shuffles me to the top. Fortunately, no one was there to follow him, so we continue to only lose out on 1 position out of turn 4. Let's see if we got any more takers in the pits. There we go. Carson Kwampel comes in, the 32 as well. I see the 00 of Creed and someone else as well to join them, as now we've got some help, and to the front of the pack we go in Talladega here with help from the number 66 of Chad Fincham. I jumped down to the bottom, which would allow him and Austin Hill to actually go back forward here now, as we were leading this bottom lane right in front of Alfredo here, coming to 5 laps to go. Now we're losing time to the drivers that have already pitted because we're in this big pack of cars with each other, so we need to get ready to pit. But Alfredo comes in, so does Zekis. We're going to stay out 1 more lap, and we're going to pit here at the end of lap 24, which we're right now behind the 66 of Fincham. You got Almirola right here as well. Actually, I'm going to cancel. Only 1 car pitting. The 21 comes in on his own. I don't want the idea of pitting just with 1 car, because if it gets separated, we're not going to have any draft, and we're going to have to just hope that we can hang on to the pack of cars that flies around us. So we'll try again this time, coming to just 3 laps to go here from this Talladega Super Speedway. Everyone's kind of calmed down. We're going to pit this time for sure, and we're only going to take half a can of fuel. So, I mean, this works out pretty well. However, the question is, the drivers that have already pitted, how much speed speed are they making compared to all of us that have stayed out already and have been absolutely scrapping it out? I mean, look at myself here. Not in a good position as we exit turn 4, and we're just kind of, navigating around these guys, and we still got 3 drivers staying out here as we enter the pits with Fincham, Sammy Smith, Sanchez, as well as William Sawalich just behind us as we would come into our pit box here. Now should be about a 3-second pit stop, and yeah, I mean, we're going to have a pretty solid result here. And as we come out of the pit lane, of course, it's crucial to have some cars behind us, and we do have the 8 of Smith behind us, but I mean, how about William Sawalich? Came in well behind me, and he comes out way in front of me. Makes 0 sense. The pit stop still, in my opinion, this is something that needs to be drastically worked on, because he could not have taken any less fuel. The only amount less of fuel that William Sawalich could have taken than me was no fuel. Okay, that makes no sense. And somehow he came in several car lengths behind me at the pit commitment line, and he comes out way in front of me. The pitting with the AI in this game, it needs drastic improvement, hopefully quickly now, and unfortunately our chances of winning are over because we've been separated from the main pack. There's now 2 packs of cars, and we are in that second pack. So you can see the run we are generating with 2 laps to go. We've still got another series of pitters coming to the final lap, Renslav and a few others, so nobody was able to stretch it on field. And all of a sudden, as we're coming to the final lap, look at this pack of cars. Look at the damage some of these cars have around us now as the white flag is in the air. And currently, Sheldon Creed leads. Could this be the day where Sheldon Creed picks up his first NASCAR Xfinity Series win, a Truck Series champ, trying to get his first win in Xfinity after so many second place finishes? We are 4 wide for mid here. 20th position we're battling for out of turn 2 down this back straightaway on the final lap. New leader, here comes the number 1. Carson Kwampel to the lead, another driver looking for his first win, but he's just a rookie now as the cars behind us kind of stalling out. They're going to try and run us back down, and we are faster than that main pack. We are visually closing in, but of course there is simply not enough time as we come through 3 and 4 for the final time as we clip the apron right there. Now is behind us, there's trouble behind us. Around goes the 87 of Austin Green. Caution's gonna fly, the race is gonna end, and Carson Kwampel's leading at the time of caution. And there you have it. Carson Kwampel is a NASCAR Xfinity Series winner as we end up 17th position in what lately I would consider, and for the most part, a relatively solid effort. In today's race here in Talladega, I consider that a pretty large disappointment. I mean, we definitely had a car capable of doing better than that, and we qualified 5th. We were up there in the conversation. Unfortunately, it just was not meant to be. So we just have to focus in on Texas. We would actually choose an engineering meeting over a super fan here, and now as that gives us some more work points, we got 300 work points, and if we finish 17th or better in Texas, we will get a new sponsor here of, the Rita's, like, ice custard thing. So if we can get that sponsor, that'll give us a few extra $1,000 per race that I would really certainly like to have right now. I mean, right now the money is super important here, as you can see, kind of what we've got working with us here. We got an all level 5 car for Texas. We've got half split level 6 and level 5 coming for Charlotte, and then hopefully beyond Charlotte, that 3rd car in line, I'm hoping we can kind of start to put some level 7 parts on that car, so we're not really putting too much effort into that car right now. But we focus in on Texas, and yeah, I mean, a disappointing result in Talladega, but as we come through into Texas, a track that I despise, I am still hopeful we can at least run pretty well, and we come through to the start finish and we qualify dead on P20, which is not enough though for that new sponsor. We need to be P17 or better, so we've got our work cut out for us here, but we're kind of back to where we've been here for some of these recent races, as Almirola's on pole over 3 Junior Motorsports drivers there of Allgaier, Zilish, Chastain, a part-time driver in that number 9, Austin Hill, rounding out the top 5. Nonetheless, we're ready to go racing here in this Carolina Carports Toyota Supra number 55 for Sam Hunt Racing for maybe the final time with this sponsor, depending on if we can get that top 17 here now, as we are ready to take the green flag and get after it. And Texas, not a great racetrack. I've never been really a fan since, of course, the reconfiguration, as you guys know, but we're going to give it everything we've got right here now as we are ready to roll. Green flag out from Texas Motor Speedway, starting in the middle of the field here. here. Jeb Burton to my inside in that Golden Corral number 27. 11 laps of racing in stage number 1. It's going to be an interesting race that plays out here, of course, depending on if there's going to be any crashes or not. But we know stage 3, we cannot make it on field. There will need to be a pit stop there in that third and final stage. Stage 1 and 2, however, no pit stops are going to be necessary, so we don't have to worry about that quite yet here as my teammate in the 26 of Dean Thompson goes by on the inside here. But we fight back here through 3 and off of turn 4 right to the back of the 17 of Corey Day. It was just announced, actually, in real life, Corey Day is going to be full-time for Hendrick in Xfinity in 2026. Let me know your thoughts down below on that one. I didn't really see the hype around him for the most part, but he actually put some solid runs together at the end of the year, so I would not rule out Corey Day actually finding some strides and finding some success in Xfinity in 2026, and maybe, you know, kind of bringing this kind of unexpected Cup career maybe beyond, or, you know, to his path, as we continue, though, to try and be better than him here in the video game side of things. Now as we are already approaching the halfway point here in stage 1, and I mean, we are running right about where we qualified. I mean, we qualified P20. We're fighting Carson Kvapil here in P21. Kvapil just coming off of his win in Talladega. He doesn't care now. He's locked into the playoffs, but of course he still wants to run well. But we're passing him into turn number 1. But obviously, as it stands right now, the top 17 is not really something that's showing itself as a possibility for myself. We're just kind of stuck here right now in this kind of 20th area, and we were right to the final lap of stage number 1 here. Eric Almirola would come through the tri-oval to take the first and opening stage, and unfortunately for us, it's just, yeah, P20. That was all I could manage. So yeah, we're a little ways off of what we need to be here to get that sponsor. So not what I wanted, but we could make some adjustments here, of course, here after stage 1 with this pit stop, and mainly what I was looking at was loosening up the car, and you can see I went pretty drastic from a 50.0 to a 48.5, so 3 clicks to the left, and just trying to free this car up here because, yeah, it was pretty tight, and I feel like loosening this thing up is going to be the opportunity to get this car going in the right direction here as we get ready to go green for the second middle stage of this race here from Texas now, as the green flag is back out, and we're rolling behind our Sam Hunt Racing teammate there of Dean Thompson, and then number 26 now is once more 11 laps of racing now, and honestly, at this point I was just kind of using stage 2 as kind of a testing stage to just see where this car is and see if we need to make more adjustments as we go on into that third and final stage now, as we've got Carson Kvapil just behind us in that Bass Pro Shops number 1 here into turn number 3, and Eric Almirola still leads now as we are going to get aggressive here. 3 wide through the middle now between my teammate of Thompson, and we clear the 26 there for P19. Daniel Dye is still to my left rear now as we've got a push coming from our teammate now into turn 1, still can't quite clear the number 10 into the first corner, and now we wash up the track a little bit now, but fortunately stay clear of the 26, but not the 10, as Dye is to my inside. We're to the back of the 48 of Nick Sanchez. We'll give him a little bit of a shove here down the back straightaway, then I get a shove from my teammate of Dean Thompson now into turn number 3, as you've still got Almirola out in front, right to the back of the number 17 of Corey Day. He leaves the door open, don't mind if I do. 3 wide to the inside again now as we split to the middle, I should say, as you got Taylor Gray just in front as well. He's been passed by Nick Sanchez, but finally I would get to the left rear of Daniel Dye after he would clear me, so we pass now the 17 of Day, the 10 of Dye, the 54 of Gray, who decided to run 4 lanes too wide into the corner, and that actually moves us up into P17, which is exactly where we need to be, as we still have help from our teammate of Dean Thompson giving us a push here now halfway into the stage, and we've still got Sanchez and William Sawalich just in front of us here, but clearly we've made some gains on this car. I mean, we were fighting for 20th in stage 1, now we are just slowly kind of moving our way forward until I would overshoot turn 1 and 2 and go wide and blow 2 positions away. So Dean Thompson, Corey Day on lap 8 both passed me, and now we're back down to P19 as we came to 2 laps to go. Fortunately for me, Day runs way too wide, and that's an easy pass. They look exactly like NASCAR Heat, where they would like jump all the way to the outside for no reason, but fortunately it makes it easy for me, so we jump up to P18, but that was all I had here. Now in stage 2, Eric Almirola takes the stage as we exit turn 4. Dean Thompson, P17 for myself, it'll be 18th position. maybe could use some more adjustments here going into that final stage to get us just a little bit closer to where we need to be, I was kind of feeling like. So we of course are going to take 4 tires, we're going to take some fuel as well, but definitely was considering maybe making another adjustment. It looks like we've got 29 laps of racing left to go. I can confirm, as we lost actually 3 positions there with a few repairs, we did go down another click or so on the wedge just to free it up a little bit more. I didn't want to overstep it and get to a point where we're sliding all over the place. So we start this final stage from 21st position, and now it's really kind of focused all in on that 17th spot. We know we don't have a great car here today in Texas. It's all about trying to score 17th or better as we come through 1 out of 2 down this back straightaway behind the number 10 of Daniel Dye, who's lined up behind my teammate of Thompson. As I mean, we have been looking at the same cars all race long here, the 10, the 26, the 17, the 54 as well, and you know, maybe we can even bring the 18 of Sawalich into the conversation as well, as we continue to just give this 10 a little bit of a shot here through the tri-oval now when we're approaching the halfway point of this race. Now, Eric Almirola has been in control from start to finish. Nobody has anything for that 10 car, so I mean, it would be an absolute shock if Almirola does not win this race. Look at Sawalich there briefly, 3 wide in the middle, but it would get sorted as we were now passing Burton in the 27. We were actually going to be 3 wide on the exit of turn 2, Burton in the middle, Sawalich on the top, myself sticking to the inside lane. We've got help coming from behind, thank you, as we go into turn number 3, and this should allow us to hopefully get clear, try to not overdrive the corner. Up the racetrack we go, and now Sawalich backs out of it. We've still got the 10 car to my right rear though as we come through this rival. Now it should end as we get a big shot from DiBenedetto, and that clears me for P17. So now we're back to where we need to be. The question is, can we hold on to that now as we come to lap 28? And Matt DiBenedetto right on my right rear, quite literally in my right rear. DiBenedetto nearly right hooks me into turn number 1. We save it, a huge save, but through goes DiBenedetto, Kvapil, Day as well as Burton, and we drop back down to P21. Maybe the biggest save we've made so far. It honestly helps that I was already, as he was turning into my right rear, I was already turning to the left, so I think that was pretty well the thing that saved me right there, was I wasn't just, you know, holding the wheel straight and wasn't ready for anything. Well, I wasn't ready for it, but we were already kind of counter-steering what he was doing right there as we've made some contact with Burton on the inside. He's gone around in the 27. Caution is out. We were 3 wide middle and didn't really think we did anything egregious there. I mean, that crash caught me off guard, and around goes Burton. Caution's out. Everybody stays on the racetrack. We're now P19 for a restart, and my goodness, what a chaotic 30 seconds that turned into now as we'll get back underway and focus in on just, you know, getting our head back in the game with 19 laps to go in this race, and really a turn that I did not expect right there, but we get back going, and we still know we're going to have to come into the pits, so that's going to, of course, spice some things up here as Almirola continues to lead. We got 12 laps to field, so that's going to get us to about lap 44, 45, so we don't have to pit till pretty late in this race. Of course, that caution helps us all get a little bit closer to the end of this race. We might even be able to take half a can less of fuel just because of that caution, as we are now P18 looking to the left rear of this 10 of Daniel Dye, and once again trying to break ourselves into that top 17 as we head off into turn number 1, and it looks like we should be able to make this happen as we do in fact take that 17th position away as we continue to just try and hang on and just fight for our life here to get that top 17 result here. Now as Taylor Gray shoving me into turn 3, made the car a bit uneasy, but we continue to settle in here now as Dane Thompson going in the wrong direction. He actually stacks up right on my nose, unfortunately caved in his left rear. Nothing I could really do about that one. We've got a new leader though. Justin Allgaier in that brand number 7 takes control here from Texas as we clear the 26, and then immediately thereafter bring the fight to the 99 Viking Camaro there of Matt DiBenedetto as we roll through 3 off turn 4, and to my surprise, we've gotten ourselves into the top 15. You got Sawalich just behind myself. I think Sawalich is probably going to be able to pass us as we get clear of DiBenedetto, but we would actually run down Harrison Burton now, and we would pass Harrison Burton just about here as we roll through 1 and 2, and we're going to glide up the racetrack a little bit, but down the back straightaway we're going to still have Sawalich glued to our back bumper, and we would be able to clear Burton, but then Sawalich would clear me, so we would drop back down to 15th place. But pit stops, they're about to kick off here for everybody now, as I don't expect many drivers to stretch this one far now unless someone's desperate. Here we go. Pit stops kicking off, coming to the end of 39, starting 40. I saw Zilish there in that Blue Hog Camaro. He comes in, and we are going to get ready to pit as well. Right here at the end of lap 40, we're coming in for 1 can of fuel and 4 tires. It's pretty straightforward, and we had a really good pit entrance, and let's just gauge how far we were behind that 16 car and see how far behind out we come compared to the 16 of Christian Eckes. I am expecting some 2-tire takers, though, to be completely transparent, because the crew chief recommended 2 tires. I was the one that changed it to 4. We come out, yeah, a little bit further behind the 16 as expected, but not terrible. The question is, though, did those guys take 2 tires? I think we're going to find out here very soon over the next couple of laps, but of course it's all about getting back up to speed here as all the leaders have pitted, and that's transitioned Austin Hill out into the front of this race, but now he's coming into the pits as well. So we are going to have maybe 1 or 2 drivers trying to stretch this as far as they can, but nobody should be able to make it, as we are actually out in front of Almirola, who would eventually pass me into turn number 1 here, coming back around now, passing Jeb Burton in the 27. Sam Mayer still on the racetrack, as well as Cesar Baccarella. He's actually still on the racetrack as well now as we exit turn 2, and look at this kind of just congested mess we've got ourselves in here. The leaders actually in this little group of cars that myself and Eric Almirola are working our way through. These are guys that pitted earlier than us. These are guys that I think, based off of the speed difference, have to be on 2 tires as we rip past Almirola right there. Look at this mess. We're 4 wide very briefly right there down the back straightaway now as we go up to the left rear of the 35 of Van Els. There's the leader of Baccarella now as we come through 3 and off turn 4. We well unlap ourselves, and we've actually put some ground between us and Eric Almirola, who we thought was a lock to win this race. Not so much anymore, as he is behind us now. Something clearly went wrong in the pit cycle for Eric Almirola, and as we continue to 3 laps to go, we're 22nd, but we know at least Baccarella still has to pit, so we're now taking P21 from Dean Thompson. This is how I can tell they're on 2 tires, because I'm absolutely blowing by guys that I was in a dogfight with earlier. As we come to 2 laps to go, Baccarella still yet to pit. Now he's coming in, so he's going to surrender the lead. That's a free spot. We need P17. Can we actually do this? We need to pass the 42 of Alfredo. That'll get us to 19th place. I'm not sure if there's 1 or 2 cars pitting. Hopefully 2 with Baccarella as we're coming back around to the white flag, and it's all Justin Allgaier leading as we exit turn 4 and we come through to the start finish line. We're P19, need P17. I don't think this is quite going to happen here as we head off into turn number 1. There's Baccarella. Hold on, actually this is the one right here. This is going to put us at a P18, so we just need to get Quample. Can we actually pull this off with the 4 tires compared to the 2? Justin Allgaier takes victory in Texas, and we got 1 chance to take it into turn 3. An aggressive lunge up the inside of the Bass Pro Shops number 1 of Carson Quample, and in the final turn off turn 4, we're gonna head to P17. The goal is complete for the sponsor, new sponsor. Hello. What a thrilling end to that race there with 4 fresh tires compared to 2, and we made it work. We were absolutely ripping here at the end as Austin Hill, Jesse Love, Sam Mayer, and Connor Zilish round out the top 5, all behind Justin Allgaier. Eric Almirola, I don't know what happened, but he ends up 19th after what clearly was something that went horrifically wrong in the pits. So we've got a brand new sponsor, Rita's Ice Custard Happiness, and we as well will go for some top 15s for an extra $4,800. We could as well hire a pro mechanic, or we could get a basic one. So we could hire this guy here, Scott Lewis, and I can confirm we did hire him. And then we would buy a level 7 engine to put in the car, not for Charlotte, but for Nashville. But unfortunately, we can't get anything else that's level 7 because we don't have any more R&D points to get it. So we're going to have to be a little bit patient for that, as it will look to wrap things up here. Next episode, Charlotte and Nashville. We have 253 points. I feel like we've been stuck in 17th in the standings for a while. The playoff spot, the final playoff spot for Taylor Gray is at 334 points. So we still need to make up basically 80 points if we want to make the playoffs. Some real work to be done as we go into next episode in Charlotte and Nashville as a continuous grind rolls into another episode. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.